Who was I talking to? I was talking to Sam over the weekend, and I go, well, the podcast is kind of turning into therapy for us, really.
It is. It's cheaper.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper, and it actually makes us money.
Actually, I don't think you guys have said it's been cheaper.
It's not.
It's not been cheap.
Now it will be cheaper than going to therapy. Now that we've bought everything.
Have you done some washing for France, or are you just gonna?
But all week.
No, sorry. Has Charlotte done
Charlotte
washing?
Shout out to Charlotte for doing the washing.
Right, we're not recording yet, are we?
Yeah, we are.
We are. Okay.
I like that. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the
PMH podcast.
podcast number 4.
Damn.
Yeah, it is 4.
Podcast number 4.
Mm.
How are we feeling, boys?
Good. Fresh week. Big exciting week actually.
Big week. for me.
Yeah.
Week.
I don't know about you boys, but I'm super stoked.
I had a rather sleepless night. Well, falling asleep was quite hard last night. I was just excited.
Yeah.
What do you
That's
think? Staying up would make it go quicker.
Well, no, I don't know. I was quite nervous for today, actually, just to try and got quite a bit to get done. And
We're doing a podcast.
and we're doing a podcast. Well, I think this is kind of a good way to get into the day. Clear your thoughts.
Mm.
Who was I talking to? I was talking to Sam over the weekend, and I go, well, the podcast is kind of turning into therapy for us, really.
It is. It's cheaper.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper, and it actually makes us money.
Actually, I don't think you guys have said it's been cheaper.
It's not.
It's not been cheap.
Now it will be cheaper than going to therapy. Now that we've bought everything, it will be. It's quite nice.
It's good. I think feels good to get things off your chest.
Have a little chit chat.
Have a little chat.
Yeah.
You feel like when at the end of the day, you feel like you've done something that's worked your brain.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of our work. I don't know. It's different parts of our brain, I should say. 'Cause we use
Yeah.
our brain at work. But
I mean, I think like also it's just a bit. It's one of those things where you can kind of just sit down and do. And
let it flow.
Let it flow,
Yeah.
and you've done something creative, and no, you haven't.
And for ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of last year we did a lot of things for other people.
This year, I think it's more about.
Well, not more about it's. We want to put more emphasis on doing stuff for ourselves and our business rather than.
Yeah. Well, we're
just-
trying to grow our personal brand this year.
Yeah.
I think that's the big difference compared to last year, where we spent a lot of time growing other people's brands. We've kind of got our clientele set, and yeah, we're not making tons of money from it, but we're doing all right.
Yeah.
And, you know, we want to
Explore
think
different
We
avenues.
need to grow our own side in order to get even bigger, and I think just putting a bit of time and effort into it can pay
Well,
off.
that's what he's here for. That man there. There we go. Look at that
Yeah.
transition.
The man in the chair.
Man in the
Actually,
chair.
that's
Jamie in the
perfect.
corner.
Oh, that didn't work. All right, no worries. I was trying some effects, but yeah, I think it's important for us to also start growing our brand. I mean, obviously, clients come first. You know,
Obviously.
we're taking steps in order to, we're putting more. We're just doing more work
I
all
think
round, whether that
just
be
more
for other
emphasis
clients.
on our own brand, really. isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's it. Like, there's nothing taken away from other people's brands and all of our clients.
It's
It's still
just-
going to get the best work time and time again. It's just we want to make
If
ourselves.
anything, it's just we're creating more work for ourselves.
we could just be sitting back and doing
Yeah.
client work, but we find this fun.
See, I
So-
think like I mean, obviously we've got a trip coming up to Monaco this week to film the World Rally Championships, which is more of a project for us,
Super exciting.
which is
Super
great.
exciting.
That's really exciting. We're going to film some podcasts over there as well. Hopefully, if it all
We'll
goes
see
to
what
plan.
happens.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just exciting to work on things that maybe we haven't
Excite
worked
us.
on before. Yeah,
Like,
and
really, like, motorsport is a passion. Like,
yeah, it's
just like
I
Formula
really
One.
enjoy. We did the F3 championships last year, and like I really enjoyed it. I've never enjoyed a shoot as much as I've enjoyed that. Like I think it's probably my favorite shoot I've ever done.
Well, just because it's something like if we filmed a football game or we went to do like behind the scenes at a football game, we'd like that more than anything else because it's something that we actually
tell us about the
enjoy.
purpose of the shoot as well. Like, what was it all about?
What the F3
Yeah.
championships? So we got approached by a guy named Alex Falls,
Yeah,
who is
friend of a friend.
friend of a friend, and
Saw what we were doing.
yeah, he wanted to film some content and invited us down to the British F3 championships in
Donington,
Donington Park, which
near
is
Derby.
near Derby, in between Derby and Birmingham way, isn't it?
Yeah,
And we were there for one day. We were
but
filming,
that day felt like
but it was
so
it was a long day. It was good though. It was just we were in the pit lanes really a lot of the time. They were only practicing, so there was no race on, which I think was almost better because
there was breaks.
It was just the pure racing crowd, and also with COVID, it was only the racers and the teams, so you got to see like a different side to it than you normally would. Which but you probably didn't get the hecticness as you normally would on a race day,
but it worked better for us, I think.
Yeah,
because we could take our time because they were doing every sort of practice. They'd set up the car the same way, they'd take apart the car the same way, so we could get like four shots of the same thing because they were redoing it over and over again.
And obviously each time we kind of focused on a certain shot, and it wasn't we had some camera problems as well, didn't we? We broke the Black Magic that day.
Well, we thought we broke
it, but well, I'd like to say Brad.
It was me,
broke it.
but we hadn't broken it.
No, it was just the lens adapter ripped off.
Yeah, but ultimately though, all the footage you got did look stunning, and also it was a great opportunity for Peda Media House to be able to have their.
We got a logo on the side of a car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that car was on Channel 4.
Yeah.
Because of the race was on Channel. Was it Channel 4?
Channel 4
or Channel
or ITV was it? I don't know.
One of a big one, a big TV station. But yeah, it was great.
That was just a kind of
surreal moment.
Surreal experience. I mean, I'm a huge F1 fan, so to go to something
get close
like
enough to that, yeah.
And just to just talking to the mechanics and like how they do stuff, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's where I feel with the rallying, because there are obviously, I just feel like there's probably going to be more mechanical stuff we can.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
feel like it's going to be super interesting, and it's also such a dangerous rally. I'm actually scared for Tom.
Yeah,
Tom's the racer, by the way.
I mean, I think I've always asked people. They've always said, why do you want to be a photographer? And I was like, it's the access you get. So you get to go to places that people would never normally get to go to.
Yeah.
And like, as you almost become like a fly on the wall because yes, you can go to these races and watch them, but to actually kind of be there and be a part of it, and you just get to kind of sit back and watch is like this amazing experience.
We get to be like in bands because we're backstage in the bands. We get to be Formula 3 racing drivers because we get to be behind the scenes. Like we get to be all these different things without actually having to be them.
Yeah.
Like we can just go backstage and live the life that they're living without
it's like
going through what they have to go through.
It's the best of both. Like, we get to do what we love, and we get to
go to places,
look at other cool, interesting jobs, and
like the amount of people that have been backstage at a festival is tiny.
Yeah.
Compared to the people that don't, and we get to do it. We're not part of a band.
Like, so there's being backstage, and then there's being on stage.
But not actually playing an instrument.
Not actually playing. And like, I remember when I was at Truck Festival filming with Dolly and the Dinosaur. Like when the set ended, like the set went like that. They were on for I think half an hour, 45 minutes.
Must have felt
like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I came off stage like the adrenaline, like we're all fucking hugging and jumping about.
Pre-COVID.
Like, yeah, pre-COVID. This is
2 years ago.
2 years
ago. Wow.
And that was just like the most. I don't know. I've never felt that.
Adrenaline.
Do you know? As soon as I came off stage, it made sense to me why
people did it.
Yeah, but also why they get the drug addiction.
You think?
Because you cannot beat that high. Like I remember there's a guy called Nicky Six. He was the lead singer of Motley Crue.
Yeah.
He wrote a book on his heroin addiction, and he was talking about like you just cannot meet.
But you try everything you want.
You try everything, but you will never reach that experience like you are on stage. And all of a sudden, it just made sense.
Especially with one of these big bands, because obviously, as I mentioned in the last podcast, I play guitar. I think like my biggest, what I think would be the best feeling in the world was being like, how David Gilmour and Pink Floyd. Imagine doing a guitar solo and you look up and there's just
stadium full of people.
Yeah.
Like
mental.
just have that many people. I mean. So when we were at Dolly, they had maybe 1,000 people watching them, right?
Still huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Imagine 50, 60, 70,000. Or
an arena.
Like Jimi Hendrix, 100,000 people.
Or headlining at Glastonbury or something like that. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's infathomable. Like you can't. It doesn't make sense. But honestly, that was probably one of the greatest experiences for me personally, just to feel, understand what it's like.
Yeah. Well, the way I've always thought about it with live music is that the people creating the music are creating the atmosphere themselves. And
it's all about them. It's all about them.
I think you can have there's two types. Like you can have you can be a good musician, but you need to be a good showman. Like you need to be able to put on a show.
Oh, 100%.
And I think they're two completely different skills.
because you could be a great showman, but not as good of a musician. But you can still create that atmosphere where everyone's enjoying
Well, you've got
themselves.
you've got a lot of introverts that are very, very good at their instruments, but
they
as soon as they
don't-
get on stage, they just can't get the crowd riled up.
I mean, think about like Queen, and
Yeah.
have you ever seen like the video of when they're in Wembley Stadium?
the mat, yeah.
That iconic one.
It's like packed.
And it's like
Yeah.
that's just you can't imagine what you feel like. Like
Yeah.
Freddie just on stage like belting it out in front
Because
of
he's probably looking at people's faces,
yeah.
but we can't see those faces. We just see heads.
Yeah.
But he's like looking at people and being like, everyone stood right there is
Here
for
to see
me.
me,
Like
Right.
all of these people.
Okay, so I've got a question for you two then. So if you could go back to kind of, I don't, maybe you guys don't know, but if you could go back to any gig of
talked
any
about
this.
of
We've had
any
this
of
conversation
any
before.
time,
Yeah.
what gig would it be?
Go on, bro.
What did you say?
I
You
know-
said-
I know.
Did you say the Jimi Hendrix one?
I'd say Jimi Hendrix at
Yeah.
Woodstock,
Yeah,
What year was that?
1969. I'm pretty sure
that'd be pretty good.
that would be insane. It was at 6 a.m. I know it happened. That's when he played.
Yeah.
6 a.m. Everyone's just tripping on acid.
Yeah.
Like, and that's
Yeah.
when the Hell's Angels were just killing
Yeah.
people, like because they were the security guard. Like that was they planned for I think 100,000 people and 1 million people turned up.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Someone call my name.
I don't know, but
I don't even know. Like, there's just so like it's hard to pick like one. I'd probably pick a festival.
Yeah, but
I don't know though.
see, I just think that the 60s would be
There's
such
just no rules,
see,
was there? Like,
such like festivals were a different
you used to
thing.
go
Well,
to a festival, no health and safety, no security.
you've
You just
also
be able
got
to get in.
Fleetwood Mac coming in.
Yeah.
They would be awesome. But my one is like clear. Pink Floyd, Delicate Sound of Thunder.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard that
Yeah,
album,
yeah.
but just all of those pieces, and it just sounds
That
incredible.
live would be,
yeah.
if it wasn't Jimi Hendrix Woodstock, it would probably be a Motley Crue gig back on Sunset Boulevard
But people like
in
that.
the early 70s.
Did you hear about Jimi Hendrix story? So one of his when he was up and coming and everything, he played with Clapton. And Clapton walked off stage because he was furious. He was like, "You didn't tell me he was that good. He's stealing the
But
show."
you know who introduced him to Clapton? Is Clapton's girlfriend, and Jimi Hendrix is having an affair with her.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, did you not know that? Part?
No.
Yeah, so she not only did she bring the boy that she was sleeping with to her
She basically took him
to her
down.
boyfriend's gig, but then also got him to play up on stage. And Eric Clapton walked out
Yeah.
because the guy Greg
must have been
Mankiewicz
so
that I met,
mad.
who took the last photo of Jimi Hendrix,
the guy,
was
yeah.
there that night, and he was telling me about it.
Damn.
Yeah, and he was it was insane.
It sounds like that photographer is quite an inspiring guy, and he's been,
Just right place, right time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, he was in London during the 60s, and his dad was very wealthy and got him a studio on Oxford Street.
Bumped into him. I'm
Yeah,
guessing
so
he
like,
bumped
and his
into him.
dad was in the music industry, or was a producer in films. So yeah, he was.
Famous.
I think he was even an agent, maybe.
He was around famous people.
Yeah, and so firstly, it was hugely connections for him. So his dad put him in touch.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not
That's how
all
it
of us
works.
can have that
Yeah.
experience. He was just right place, right time, and
Yeah, but there's also
but he made it. He made his. He took
He took
his
his
chances.
opportunity. Yeah,
and
I
I
respect it.
I respect him.
Yeah.
For that. Fair enough. I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people wait for the opportunity, but when it's right in front of them, they don't take it because they're scared or something. But that's where people do take. You got to take these big
and
opportunities.
I saw.
Like Monte Carlo for us. I
Yeah.
feel like this could be a big opportunity for us.
We don't know where it can go.
Yeah,
We'll look back on this
exactly.
in like 10 years and be like, wow, that was the moment. But who knows? I mean,
I saw a tweet the other day. It was like, it's not about how hard you work. It's only about the opportunities you take.
Yeah.
It's about the opportunities or the people. No, it's about connections. Something along those lines. I was like, and I agree with that to a certain point. That yes, you need to be in somewhat connected to people to kind of
yeah.
get ahead. But I
To be
do
good
think
enough.
there is a huge amount of graft that you have to put in there
To get to that position.
to get to
Yeah.
that position. Like you can't just become a photographer and say, "Oh, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be famous
because I know
photographer
this
now."
guy.
You do need to have some sort of skill,
100%.
and if you don't have the skill, you need to work hard. but it's not just because you get an opportunity doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make it.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's like the same with it's like relating it back to us.
Yeah.
It's like we've done work for people that we know, but like half of that has been because they know us. Half of that is because they like our work and they think we're good enough.
Yeah.
Even if they saw us and went, "Oh yeah, we can work with them because I know them," but then they're like, "We don't like your work."
Yeah.
They wouldn't work with us because it's half and half. They
I
come
think
together.
people are too easy to pass it by now to say like,
Oh, you
oh
were
yeah,
just
it's
given
just
that.
opportunity.
Yeah.
You've been given that, and
Yeah.
I think, and that annoys me because actually
You don't see what
there is
goes in.
people like us who are in here till 3 o'clock in the morning working our asses off,
Mm.
Yeah.
and people
Then get the opportunity.
and then they say, "Oh, you're killing it. What? How'd you get that opportunity?" I'd be like, "Well, I worked my ass off for it. Like it wasn't just handed to me."
Mm.
And I think it's just so easy to say, "Oh, he had just got."
Because that's
given
what they
it."
see.
Yeah.
They don't see what happens behind closed
Well, yeah,
doors.
you look at the amount of work that we do. I mean, obviously, there's so much work for our clients, but then once we finish all of that work, we've then got all of the work on ourselves
We work, yeah.
to do. So yeah, it's just
And it's
how it
just
works.
about grafting, isn't it?
You've got to make it.
Yeah.
I think there's such a I love in the creative industry this huge like hustle mentality. Do you know what I mean when I say that? And it's just like people just grafting for it. No, I like that. I think it
Works well for us.
yeah, and I don't think it show people just think, oh well, it's kind of a glamorous job being a photographer.
You just
get to
take
go
pretty
this
pictures,
day.
yeah.
It's hyper competitive,
Mm.
so you've
Hugely.
got to work hard.
Mm.
Hugely competitive, and it's right now it's never
Probably
been easier.
Yeah, it's probably been
to be a
yeah.
photographer or a videographer. I mean, right? So like we got this DJI Osmo Pocket today, the other day, right, to help us film some vlog stuff. You could make a movie with this and an
Oh,
iPhone.
for sure, yeah.
Like the quality of the shots we're getting off this is insane.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Well, yeah, we were actually discussing that. So we've actually changed from a Canon 6D as our vlog camera to Connor's iPhone because he's got the newest 12. And the reason for that is that it's actually just an incredible camera.
I mean, like, and the features that DJI packed into that.
It's the same
just-
as a normal gimbal.
It's like, do you know, because what I found with the vlog is actually a lot of the times we end up switching to the phone because it's the one that's there at the time.
It's just you just go bam up like that. It's got autofocus. It's got all the auto settings on it.
And
It's
I'm
perfect.
we're not trying to make the vlog this huge production. Like, we do that as a job already. We don't need to create even more work.
We're just
for
chucking
us.
a camera around, just saying what we think and
Yeah.
see what we're doing. Like it's not supposed to be a movie.
Whereas, when we're trying to make a quality production, we're going to use our Blackmagic,
Yeah.
our cinema camera. We're going to use,
The nice drones and
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
and that's. It's actually sometimes I think it's always kind of like, what camera is right for the moment.
'Cause it's not sometimes the best looking. It's sort of the usable one.
And that's like going back to like when we started out and watching Casey. Like
Yeah.
that was what he always said. It was like the best camera is the camera that you have on you.
It's just the one that he put on his
He
hip,
used to have it on
yeah,
his
in the belt,
pocket.
yeah.
But you don't need that anymore. You've got it in your pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started,
He would probably vlog on his phone now if he was when he was doing it back in 2016.
even 5 years ago when we kind of started out, cameras were great on phones. But now, like, mate, when I got that camera on the iPhone 12 Pro, I went out.
There's a
and
gimbal in the phone. Like, it makes no sense.
and to have full control to shoot raw photos
on a phone.
to have different lenses now, to have like a wide angle, a zoomed in, and a telephoto.
Imagine the first phone that had a camera on it. That was like revolutionary.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how far it's come.
And we're like living in it.
Yeah,
Well, that's why being a videographer is hard nowadays as well, because I mean you've got these
It becomes accessible.
super user-friendly interfaces as well, such as Final Cut and everything. People can record and shoot a fairly decent standard video, and that's where it's like our job to be
better.
we need to be on the next level, and we are. So
see, like I saw on the DJI app for the Osmo, it teaches you to film, so you can put in a story mode. And it will tell you how long you have to record for, and then edit it all straight away for you. So you can make like a short.
You don't have to do
So if
anything.
you're making quick promotional content for your business, and you're a small business, and you just
You
want
just
to
have your phone.
and
yeah.
you just want to make better content, you can use your phone and get something like that and make it look buttery smooth. But when you want something that's trying to portray a story and you're trying to get your brand across, that's when you come to someone like us, because we will tell.
We've invested money in cameras and we've lived through it.
We
learned.
know how to tell stories. That's
Yeah.
that's the difference, and I think that's what people don't understand when they're looking for a production company or creatives. you're not just hiring a guy for his camera. You're hiring for his ability to be able to tell
and
the
the
story of the
years,
brand.
the years that we put into
And also,
trying different stuff.
and on another note, you watch Brad edit, and it's just he's got all these little tricks that he's picked up over the years. It's because I'm learning how to use Final Cut because I'm helping Brad out with the podcast and
It's been a great helping
and
hand.
vlogs. But yeah, Brad's just super quick and everything. He knows exactly what to do with it, and it's a bit like you with Photoshop. Photoshop's one thing that I also want to learn how to do better.
That's a different beast.
Because you are Connor, you're just exceptional on it. I have no idea how you do it.
It's
Just doing.
it's like we've both been doing it for so long.
Just do it. It's like you just.
Yeah, it's like
You can watch as many tutorials as you want, but
don't
until
you
you
can,
do it, you get because everyone uses it differently. There's some stuff that when I use Photoshop, it's none of the stuff that you use, but it's just the way that we've done it.
And that's what like. It's sometimes like I can say to Brad, "Oh, have you tried this?" Or he'll be like, "Oh, try this." And it's like you think, "Oh, that's such a different way to do it," but actually it works. I mean, I've actually this last week has been probably one of the most challenging weeks back on Photoshop.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like this, just in particular, this shoot that
Just
we've just
happens,
been
doesn't it?
editing
Yeah.
happened to be quite hard. And so, you know, I've been really picking out some of my old Photoshop tricks, and I can't believe I remember some of them.
Honestly, the same. Like it's just some stuff that you don't use for ages, and you just do it quickly, like moving logos around in special places. Just like, why haven't I not been using this for the last year? Just stuff that I learned in like year 13, like in media.
Yeah, it's weird how after you can go away from one thing for so long, and then all of a sudden think, I could use that, and it just comes back to you. But also, Photoshop and Final Cut are updating every year now. Not like they used to, where it was every 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
It's every single year, and there's new things coming out near enough every month.
Yeah.
You can't keep up with it.
Well, that's what I found hard because occasionally when I'm trying to look up a YouTube video on how to do something on Final Cut, the only video that explains it will be from, like 7 years ago, and the interface is completely different.
Oh my god, it's so annoying. Like the only person that's found out your problem is a guy that made it on Final Cut like 4 years ago. It's like this looks nothing like what Final Cut looks now.
They changed some of the actions on it, so it's like what did work a year ago might not work now.
Yeah,
and you have to kind of.
One of our hard drives is going absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Can you hear it in there?
No.
It? Oh, okay.
No, it'd be absolutely fine.
It feels like it's taken off.
Literally running a million megabytes a second. All right, where were we talking about?
Well, to be fair, we weren't going to talk about this, but I actually feel like it's a really good topic.
You just got to learn by doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be given as much information as you want from other people, but as long as
when going back a few years, I actually taught a Photoshop class for Quinn's mum's marketing company. Company she was working for as the marketing agent.
I find
Head
that
of
so
marketing.
funny.
She was the marketing director, and she hired you to talk to.
I think
everyone about Photoshop.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and I was 18 at the time.
Yeah,
I remember.
About like 4-year-olds.
It's quite funny. I don't know if Kasima ever knows this, but she'll probably hear it now. So
I swear she comes
the
up
night
in every
before.
podcast.
I went to Angus Monroe's sister's birthday, and we got absolutely trolleyed.
Yeah.
And I had to drive from Angus's house.
What, Ascot?
Yeah, I was so hungover, and I got there, and I was 5 minutes late, and I was like, God, I'm not in the mood for this morning. And then but I got into it, and it was fine. It was brilliant. And like the girls were great there. They really on top of it and actually wanted to learn, and that was good fun. And that's the big difference, is wanting to learn new things as well helps.
Yeah, my mum was so pleased with it because she's had a few people come in to do stuff like that, and she's always been disappointed, but she was thoroughly impressed with how you ran it. And I think it's because you're still young. You'd learned all of this, within the last 3-4 years. So it was kind of fresh in your head how to teach it.
It also helped me to teach other people to do it. Like, it's hard to teach. I have so much respect for people that can teach. Yeah, I personally probably couldn't do it.
Because you do stuff the way that you do it.
I do it, and also now, now I'm so far removed from the traditional kind of method. It's now my own method. Like, it might actually not, because I feel like when you're teaching, you're teaching how to do it the way you should.
The basics.
Whereas once you start to do things professionally, and you do this every single day, you have to find not shortcuts, but you need to find quicker ways to do things. So you might your method might be removed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that, that comes with the territory, I think.
Yeah.
And it would be unfair to put new people through that because it's so hard. It took me 5 years to get to this point.
You can't expect someone to do it.
So I can't expect someone to be at my level straight away. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you'd find the same with Final
Yeah,
Cut.
it's a bit different with Final Cut because there is just the same way. It's all in a timeline. It all moves from left to right. Like it's all like you can't change that. With Photoshop, there's a lot more you can change. I could probably teach someone how to use the basics of Final Cut because I still use the basics, like what all the keys do, like how to cut things, like cut to music and all the transitions. But there's other stuff that I do, like the custom transition and the custom, like all of the custom stuff that I've made for myself. And it's different.
You develop your program to design it to suit you. Like
my Final Cut Pro is personalized exactly to me.
the way my Photoshop looks would be completely different to someone else's.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah. So like, everyone has it differently. They each have their toolbar set up different and
with different things at the top and the bottom.
And it's just kind of more current to what you use.
Yeah. That is really interesting.
I've got really intense pins and needles in my right leg right now.
Really?
I've just been crossing my legs for quite a while now. God.
What crossing your legs?
Are
you avid fan of crossing your legs?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I like.
There's multiple times of me and Connor just
What a
got
strange
exactly.
question.
What?
Some people find it really weird though.
So
Can you cross your legs?
wait, do you mean sit down and
No,
cross
like-
my legs
like
on my
this.
bum? Yeah. I do that all the time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can you sit cross-legged though on the floor?
No,
Can't
like
you?
I can't. My right leg is my right hip's flexible enough, but my left hip for some reason just isn't. I need to stretch.
Do some yoga, mate.
As a kid at primary school, I always got told off because I couldn't sit cross-legged.
Really?
I can now, as an adult, do it.
Useful.
Primary school,
Can do
not a
it.
chance. When every day we had to sit on the floor,
Oh my-
cross-legged.
How can why?
Yeah.
Why do we have to sit on a floor? Have you seen that thing? It was like, tell me you went to a British school without telling me you went to a British school. It's like sitting on the floor from year 1 to year 5, and then getting to sit on the benches in year 6. Just
Oh yeah, you
Did
actually
you have
felt-
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the
Gonna say,
best,
it's
wasn't
like-
it?
I'm like we had to sit on a dirty floor every morning like that.
What? I just don't get that.
Get chairs. Just get chairs.
What do we do now as an adult? We don't go into a meeting and go, right, guys, time to sit on the floor.
We hired Quinn, and it's like his first day he's just sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Like you got to work your way up to get in a chair.
I've got awful pins and needles now. like awful.
I need to get that checked out. It must be something because I get pins and needles all the time.
Well, because when I kayak in a playboat, which is one of those tiny ones, so when I'm in there for too long,
that must be awful.
I lose all feeling in my legs, and it's
What is that?
awful.
Is it just cutting?
It's just blood flow,
Is it just,
isn't it?
yeah, it's just kind of.
So it's actually, I know about it because I had to research into it. It's actually
biology hour with
no.
Quinn.
So in the hip, there's actually
What, in your, yeah.
in the hip there's like a blood vein or something, but like the one that fuels the legs. Great terminology.
Oh, because you can sever that,
and
that's when you can die.
if you cut it off a bit, if something's pressing on it for a large amount of time, then you just lose your legs.
So I saw an ad for it. It was like you get these bands that you put around your biceps and your thighs when you're working out, so it cuts off the blood flow, so your legs are working harder to push the blood through.
That's not healthy.
I think it is.
Have you seen?
I literally didn't look into it, but not like that much, but like a little bit of restriction, so it makes your legs work harder.
Have you seen these
Burns, I'm guessing.
electric things that send electric pulses?
Oh god, that. Yeah.
I want to try.
done
I
them?
want to try it. No.
I've done it.
Have you got one?
We used to. This time I'm upset.
They just sent like
Think of a bit
pulses.
Think of a bit of a gimmick. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
I mean, so I had
Unless you do it like all the time, I guess.
when I did my shoulder in America, and I went to they sent the doctor put me on these pulses to free up and it worked, but he had to go in and kind of work it out as well.
Yeah.
Because it is good to initially loosen it up, but after a while,
It doesn't fix it completely.
No, yeah.
It works.
It's a weird one because it's like they send also like heat pulses, so it sends heat with electric pulses.
Yeah.
I want to try a hot stone massage.
Oh god.
That'd be nice. Just to like, because So the hot stones go onto your back and they seep in deeper than a
Yeah.
hand could, and then you go in and massage it after. So it's like really, really
It
loose.
seems so
Oh.
painful. You've got to be in a sort of state of
I
complete relaxation.
I don't think it's like, it won't burn you.
Yeah.
They're just warm.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever done acupuncture? My mum's
No.
had it a few times,
No.
and she says it's really good.
Yeah,
my
I've heard
mum-
everyone say that it's really good.
My mum has it. She can swear by it.
So it's literally just needles in you, isn't
It's
it?
releasing
So-
pressure, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just an outsource of
God,
pressure.
it's
I
strange.
think that's man in the chair. That's what you're there for.
Press button
Oh
number
yeah,
4
yeah.
or 3,
yeah.
whatever it is. Put it on your screen.
How does
No,
Oh,
we'll
no,
let
yeah.
him get it up first. Be professional.
acupuncture?
Google's just like
Chill.
Pete.
Also, I feel like I've spelt this terribly.
That's fine, mate. It's fine. Not everyone's perfect. Talk amongst yourselves.
And the internet's off.
The internet's not working.
No, I was just on the wrong Wi-Fi. Right.
It's
I want a massage, just a regular massage. I think I
So
need it.
if we look here, acupuncture points are believed to stimulate the central nervous system. This, in turn, releases chemicals into the muscles, spinal cord, and brain. These biochemical changes may stimulate the body's natural healing abilities and promote physical and emotional well-being.
Emotional about being nice.
Well, there you go.
so
That's actually quite interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right, should we move on to our first topic that we've got planned for today?
yeah.
How long have we gone?
We've gone half an hour, but I feel like that is actually one of the best conversations on the podcast,
I
because
think
occasionally
so,
we can
yeah.
lose track a bit.
That's fine.
We did lose track, but
Quite
it was,
informative, maybe. For
Yeah.
some people.
I think it was good.
Yeah.
So moving on, I think we wanted to talk about
Social media,
reality TV,
reality TV. That's it.
and just talk about our thoughts, because everybody seems to have quite opinionated thoughts about reality TV. So
it's such a hot topic, isn't it? Reality.
It's a very
TV.
judgmental.
do you two watch reality TV?
What do you class as reality TV? Like, are we talking like just the Love Island, The Bachelor, like
Yeah.
like all of that?
I just celebrity get me out of it. All of those. Sort of
That's
shows that-
funny. I wouldn't. I
That's-
used to be into
that-
that. I used to be
I
into
feel
that.
like it hasn't been funny for a few years. Though.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what? I
yeah.
just think
they're really clutching at straws with the people they're getting on.
Yeah.
It's
Like when James Haskell went on it, that was funny because he's
Yeah.
funny. But then like the rest of them, like when Ian Wright was on there, he's funny.
Yeah.
When there's just like
you need controversial people.
you need
unfortunately.
A, B, C list celebrities, not like the people that are on Coronation Street.
No, do you know
like
what?
no one cares about
Yeah.
them.
You know
Like,
when they had like Caitlyn Jenner on there.
see that?
See, like you need. I feel like you need like an A-list.
Yeah.
Actually,
And then like loads of B's and C's.
To be fair,
But,
what have
like,
they done since
Coronation Street and the people that are in Emmerdale. It's like
I just
no
think they're
one
running out of
cares.
people, aren't they? Like it's just getting.
They can't be. There's so many people.
Because it's like I find like all these shows. Britain's Got Talent. Britain's Got Talent, I think, is one of the better ones. But
Is that reality TV?
yeah, well, it's a reality TV show, isn't it? Like
Yeah, it's like a game.
I'd say it's a game show.
reality. Yeah, well, it's.
But I mean, it's.
because it's like it's all.
It's
based-
a
like to-
talent. No, it's a talent.
Talent
It's just a
show.
talent
I'd like
show.
to know just how reality Britain's Got Talent is.
Because I feel like you've got different classes of reality TV.
You've got
So you've
talent,
So you've got the talent side. Then
BGT,
you've
and all
got
that.
like the X on the Beach, Love Island,
What's that like?
Yeah.
Geordie Shore kind of.
I think
level.
that's what we're more wanting to discuss, like
Yeah.
these Love
Because-
Island and
Because
everything.
X
like
Factor and
that.
Britain's Got Talent had its years, has been good,
Gone.
produced some good people, but like,
move on.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then you got like like the Bake Off and.
that's great.
Did you see they've got a dog show, dog group?
Yeah, my
on
mum's
that?
watching that. It's
Yeah.
actually quite cool.
Yeah, and they've also got that new
The Great
drag
British Sewing Bee.
the drag race, which is drag queens.
Really?
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 Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that on ITV or BBC Three.
Mm.
Yeah,
I don't really watch a lot of TV, to be honest.
Neither,
No, I
like
don't.
not. See, if I do, it's like I'm watching it on Netflix and I'm watching like old shows. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't call that TV.
I wouldn't
Just
call it like
turn on Channel 4 and go
yeah,
on.
I don't watch that anymore. I just I hate adverts.
Well, what is
I
it? What is it?
hate
It's the
adverts. I don't want to sit through.
the ability to watch TV whenever you want and not be tied to a schedule is just wiping out. Like iPlayer and like all of that is just wiping out the live numbers. So like the people that actually watch stuff on BBC compared to people that watch on iPlayer is probably like immense.
But I
Yeah.
don't. It's just 'cause you don't have the. I don't. We've moved away from the traditional day. Does that make sense? Like,
On demand.
yeah,
Everything is on demand and available whenever you want.
Yeah, because people live like
Different lives.
Yeah, different time schedules. People want to work at different times. People don't want to have to feel like they have to. Right, I have to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, get to work for 9, finish at 5, go home, have dinner, sit in front of the TV 8 o'clock, 4 EastEnders.
See, in response to that, I'd say there's a slightly different reason. It's because there's this there's a huge amount of content now,
which online.
You can grab it, which you can watch at any time, which means that it's about so people all have their own taste.
I think
and
traditionally
you're able to watch purely what you're interested in,
with no ads or limited ads.
I do think though traditional media is having to stay competitive with a lot of online content. People love being able to watch it when they want on YouTube or watching it as they
as they please,
day.
on Disney Plus, Netflix, all that
whereas
stuff.
The traditional outlet was you have to put it on at a certain time.
You get the family round for 8 o'clock after dinner, and you all watch the same show.
That's why we've had I'd say in the recent years we've had a huge increase in terms of like the live broadcast productions and everything, because that's what people they want to be up with the latest.
Definitely.
It's I definitely think traditional media is a hard place to be right now. Yeah, hugely. I mean,
see, a lot of influencers are doing traditional TV because that's obviously where the money is, but then they do their own stuff because they can do it when they want.
And even like if you look at like the Love Island stars, they're all coming out of reality TV and jumping on YouTube, or they're trying.
A lot of them are going on YouTube.
A lot of them, because that's kind of, it seems like the natural progression, doesn't it? It gives you an outlet where you can talk for yourself and you're in control.
Yeah, rather than when you're on TV and you're in adverts and stuff, you're kind of just doing whatever everyone else wants to do.
Your deception of being your person as your personal brand can be controlled a lot more online now.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was all about the narrative that TV was going to set, and I think we now have like this different form of big star. Like if you think like.
If you don't have a big
if you think like Elvis, right, back in the day, humongous, gargantuan star. He was almost like
radio, newspaper.
Yeah, he was almost like a bit of a put on a pedestal, and like he was untouchable, kind of like
Michael Jackson sort of level.
Well.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah,
and like he was like, oh my god, he's a star. Like he lives this different life. Whereas now, they have to be so transparent.
Yeah.
Like, they have to disclose everything. Cause
on your Instagram story, you've got to show that you're going down to the shops and do it, or you're going to get a Costa or something like that.
What are you doing at home? What are your skin routines?
Yeah, like you're watching TV today.
So this is why, personally, I wouldn't like to be famous. Don't get me wrong, I really want to be successful, but I don't want to be in the limelight. We've got a friend, he's an aspiring actor, and he's, he'd really, really like fame. But it's one of those things where I feel like it can either make or break you. Some people thrive over it.
I did say to Robbie in the last podcast I would shout him out, but I forgot. So shout out, Robbie.
I think he'd be a good person to get on. I think maybe it'd be funny.
Yeah, when it's all allowed.
Yeah.
The problem is at the minute it's such a fight,
and space.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of space in it, but also we do just can't really have anyone at the minute.
Yeah, unless they're.
However, we all got COVID tests yesterday, so
all got negative. Yes, boys.
Yeah. We know we're good. So yeah,
that was fun.
COVID test.
Yeah, how did you guys find the experience of the COVID test?
It is streamlined to not perfection, but it is
so much better. My first one.
I called Will after and went that was impressive.
Yeah,
it was. Impressive. I drove in there 10 minutes early. The guy got on his phone, "Are you Brad?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Drive over there. You'll get this pack. Follow the instructions on the thing." 2 minutes, I was out and done. The guy by the window was like, "Just drive there, drop it off, done." Like, it was seamless.
Yeah,
it was great.
I was thoroughly impressed. My nose really tickled for a long time afterwards.
The one before,
I got selected as one of the first people
to get tested.
Like this.
Yeah.
So
ages ago.
So I did that, and
when
then
was that? Like May, June.
Oh, mate, before that, April, March, April time.
Wow.
I think early April. I did it. So I did that, and then I did one in the summer. Then when we got COVID, and now this.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to have another one when we get back, because we're gonna isolate for 5 days, and then we need to have another test.
Yeah. I'm doing my antibody test as well when we get back, which is good.
Yeah.
Because it's you prick it on your finger, and then it tells you within 10-15 minutes if you have the antibodies. It says it's not 100% accurate, but I think
they're saying we have. Now that we've had it, we've got 6 months. So
they're changing it all the time. Like, it could
but this is the thing. Like, they don't know. We're a year in, and they still don't know a lot about it. But
it's just changing.
A lot of stuff they said originally doesn't really apply anymore.
We're just going back to COVID again, aren't we?
Do Do you remember when like last year they were going like the original plan was to go for like do the antibody tests rather than
The
testing,
test, yeah.
because they were going to see like who's immune to it.
Yeah.
And then we've gone in the complete opposite direction. Now it's mass testing.
Yeah. So
And then again, mass vaccination.
there is a bit of an issue when it comes, like historically, when it comes to testing of you know, viruses and everything. It happened with the swine flu. I'm not saying it's what's happening, because obviously COVID, like we're having just a ridiculous amount of deaths, and the hospitals are just through the roof. However, with testing like this, it means that, say in the summer when COVID starts to calm down, which influenza viruses do, they reduce.
Yeah.
Like at this time of the year, there's always like the common cold's always killing people, the flu's
Yeah.
always killing people. But as we go into the summer, it might be an issue where testing says that COVID is still an issue, but the deaths are very low.
Yeah, but it's just that sort of where we got to live with is it's always going to be around, but it's going to be like the flu. Like, doesn't kill that many people. You've got to get the flu jab.
Well, the swine flu was actually an issue for about 2 years after.
Yeah,
and there was 0 deaths within like for a year and a half.
It was just circulating.
Is because it was just a case-demic.
Yeah,
which I think it will probably turn into.
It will.
Because it's high. They're saying it's really infectious, but the deaths aren't like going up. The deaths aren't at a higher rate than they normally would be.
If you look at like compared to other pandemics, like the death rate is extremely low. But do you remember? We won't remember. But with the Spanish flu,
yeah, I remember like it was yesterday.
The first one was hardly anyone killed.
It was the second one.
The second wave.
Yeah,
and they got up to 50 million deaths.
Oh, just think about that.
50 million people dead. I think we haven't even reached 2 million with COVID.
But I think that it's a very different.
Like, also, there were no
immune systems, lockdown, data.
Yeah, they were post-war. They were recovering from a war. It's completely different.
Even communication, like it's so it's pretty much a different world than it was like in 1920. So I think comparing it to that is a bit.
Well, and also remember that this is just after World War. Just after World War One.
Yeah.
Resources are shot.
Are they going to lock down the country? No, there's so much that still needs to happen. But also people are probably already fairly weak and malnourished, so the flu's just going to go through.
Yeah. But also, it's people kind of there's
immune systems have just improved since the 1920s.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
They haven't.
Worse.
Yeah.
They got worse.
They got worse. Yeah.
Really?
Because we're too clean now.
I guess we're relying on a lot.
As a society, we are especially Western, but we are far too clean.
Yeah.
Which is good and bad. Yeah.
You need germs. It's because
your body needs to create antibodies and stuff.
When I go to Kenya, when I did the raft guiding qualification ship, so we did it with a bunch of Kenyans as well, who are also good friends. But they get thirsty and they drink the river water.
And you're like, nah.
And the guy that runs the company, it was like, if you do that, you'd probably die within like a few months. Yeah. Or you'd get
some
extreme
sort of illness,
DNV.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where and he also gave me this lecture about how we're just weak now.
But if they came over to our country, they'd be exposed to other sort of germs and viruses that they don't have in Kenya.
Well, they're finding that because obviously there's almost no common cold. They're finding that that people of warm ethnicity
from those countries,
from warmer climates are having more of an effect by COVID.
Yeah, they're struggling. Yeah, 100%.
It just shows you that your environment can play a huge part.
Oh, it's literally
It's evolution.
You're just experiencing different things. You've been exposed to different sort of viruses and germs. You're more susceptible to certain things.
Yeah, just the fact that in the hotter countries, people evolved to have darker skin. I mean, just that alone, like we're exactly the same as humans.
And we have lighter skin here. We don't need the protection.
It's like magic.
Yeah.
If you break it down, it's just the way that the humans have evolved is magic.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got nut allergy, right? And the nut allergy is a huge amount of cases in Western culture, not in Eastern culture.
Yeah.
Because nuts in Eastern culture are so predominant.
They've been there all the time,
all the time. Whereas actually, we're starting to wipe out nuts here, and it's now like when I was a kid, when I found out. This was kind of like at the start of when nut allergies were
Yeah.
really becoming a thing. They weren't as popular as they were. You know how like we had the gluten wave kind of like in early
People with
the
gluten
last
intolerance.
decade.
Yeah.
That was like what it was for me in the 90s when I had my nut allergy. And
Yeah.
they were all just finding out all these things then.
Mm.
And so when I was finding out, like there wasn't a lot you could do
Well,
about
in our
it.
parents' generation, a lot of people that were allergic to nuts and gluten didn't know.
They were allergic to nuts and
They
gluten.
were just they were never told. It was just, oh, I just don't feel well after I've eaten that.
Well, it's the same as lactose. So
Yeah.
humans aren't actually until about, I think it's
Everyone's
I may be
lactose
making this up,
intolerant,
but
but to a
about
certain
20,000 years ago, humans. This is when we first started actually drinking milk and everything. Everyone was lactose intolerant, and we've actually in that time we've developed something in our system that can
to
help
digest it.
digest
Well,
lactose.
isn't it everyone is lactose intolerant to a certain extent, just less so than others. The same with nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone's sort of allergic to nuts, but it's just your body doesn't react
But
to it in
also
certain
something
ways.
about lactose, something that's also quite cool. So, but it's not cool. It's actually pretty crap. But so my girlfriend was never lactose intolerant. She went and she climbed Kilimanjaro, but got really bad altitude sickness. And when your body has something extreme happen to it, you can develop intolerances like allergies and everything.
That's mental.
So then she got back from that trip, and then she realized like she was feeling ill for the next 2 years, and she got a test done, and she was lactose intolerant when she never was originally.
Yeah, people grow into it as well. I know people that
But
have become lactose intolerant in like their 20s, like mid 20s.
I mean, I had a mate I had a guy I went to school took the piss out of me for having a nut allergy. Then I came back from school one summer from summer holidays, and he had a nut allergy.
Who is
That's
it?
so funny.
No one you know.
Okay.
But this was in primary school.
Oh right.
But you
That's
know,
so
like
mad.
even now, gluten. We're not meant to eat gluten. Like gluten is really bad.
There's
for
some
Yeah.
stuff that gluten, like there's gluten in certain stuff, and you're just like, why is there gluten?
Have you
in
seen,
that?
have you seen how America fucked gluten? They've
Really?
completely fucked it with the GMO foods.
Genetically modified, yeah.
So like the gluten, so pasta and wheat we use in pasta here, completely different to what they use.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like that's so
Well, it tastes
actually
different,
a
yeah.
lot of gluten intolerances developed from America because they had played with the with it.
Is it the genomes? Is that what it's
Yeah, they
called?
played with them
I
so
don't know
much
if it's called. I don't know if
to
it's
the
that.
point where the body now can't even break it down.
It's
Yeah,
just so
damn.
tough, yeah.
It like if you go
Is that because they're genetically modifying
To try
the crop so they can grow it?
Yeah, try and make
So
them
passive,
taste better
yeah.
and grow quicker and mass produce it, which is
Yeah.
normal in a lot of things.
but
Well,
so-
we've done that with all of the livestock, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's a guy in.
I get why they do it, but it's just not great.
So there's a guy in LA who's got a pasta restaurant, and he only uses flour from Italy, so it's real and
Doesn't
like,
use any American
And
stuff,
I mean,
yeah.
Joe Rogan had him on his podcast, and they were talking, and he was like, Rogan was like, when I go eat your pasta, it tastes like real, actual how pasta should do compared to most restaurants in America. The pasta that they're making.
Well, their
isn't
pasta's a lot
actually
more.
pasta.
It's a lot more yellow in tone than ours is. Ours is a more paler, sort of beigey, a little bit yellow, but more beige.
And that's all because of the flour.
Yeah.
It hasn't been modified to the point that your body can't actually do anything.
That is
There's a meat
interesting.
that Americans. I think it's lamb. I don't think there's. It's very hard to come by lamb. I think it's lamb. It's one mix. I remember talking to my parents about it. They were like, we never had lamb for such a long time because when we were in America.
It's just not as popular.
They just don't have it. It's just.
I mean, they
I
eat
think
a
it's
lot of
lamb.
beef and chicken. They got.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like New Zealand. When we went to New Zealand, we learned that because obviously they're known for
Lamb.
they're known for
The
their
sheep,
lamb,
yeah.
but they're actually it's more cattle, it's more cows. Then
Really,
there are lamb.
meat prices when we were over there were a lot cheaper
Really?
for lamb. I mean,
For
Because they've got more. Yeah.
you could get it's for steak than lamb.
like you could do
Yeah.
a lot, especially and the same in Australia. Lots of beef you could get for quite cheap.
Yeah.
So, they have a lot of room.
Got space.
Yeah,
Beef is relatively cheap anywhere you go in the world, though.
but following on
Yeah, because
from
most people have. Yeah. It's.
following on from genetically modified stuff, something that I've always thought was really, really odd is the fact that, we used to have wolves, which is what dogs started as.
Yeah.
And now we've got pugs, which are just genetic freaks when you think
Yeah.
about it. And they struggle. They struggle to breed. I think it's wrong,
I
personally.
mean, a lot of crossbreeded dogs have a lot of genetic defects. Like
Yeah.
my dog.
That's why they
Belle,
get illnesses and stuff.
She's
like that.
so she's a Labrador cross collie, and her defect is she gets fat lumps. I mean, we had to take her to the vet probably 2 years ago now. She had them removed, and she looks like a new dog now. But that is just one of her breed. And her sister, who lives down the road, she has a giant one hanging off of her leg,
Mm.
and like it's
just
it's like
crossbreeding.
it's like a tumor, but it's just not cancerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just grow and grow.
Yeah,
and
it
grow,
is a tumor.
yeah, and a lot of dogs do just have.
But a lot of
have
people
defects like that.
believe that pugs shouldn't be allowed to be bred because they do actually live. That they struggle
Short
to breathe,
lives, yeah.
and they
Yeah.
and
was gonna say,
it's the same with
sausage
sausage dogs as
Yeah.
well. I personally think it's wrong,
I love such this. So cute.
So cute.
but
That's-
I
that's-
They are just well
Oh,
cute.
you just want to eat them up, you know.
Well, eating dogs.
Not eat. Literally, don't take. Why do you take everything I say out of context like that? This is the 4th podcast, and you've done it every single time.
You've got to be consistent.
yeah, consistency is key.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn this to the ripping the shit out
Yeah.
of Brad next week.
Why did we crossbreed? Like,
I know.
did they just
Oh,
not think,
because-
so they just didn't
Because
think.
people wanted accessory dogs. Do you get what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
People wanted these
Designer
handbag
dogs.
dogs.
Specials,
And
yeah.
it's what you see posted on social media all
It's
the
like
time.
French
Now.
bulldogs.
They get a new pup, and it's like all you see. Yeah, we're just talking about general population.
Yeah.
Inside. What's next then?
Well,
did
I
we
mean,
go into-
because we were
Because we were going to talk about reality TV,
And we got into pugs and genomes.
we've taken
and
a huge detour. We were going to
What
talk
are we on
about
time?
Stephen Bear. I think we should just go straight onto the personality test. I don't know about you.
yeah,
guys.
why not?
Oh, let's
Calm
have
down.
this.
All right, so here we have, guys. We have.
Are we doing this together?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
we
yeah.
should. I think
Let's
we
just-
should.
let's
What, so we're all the same person.
Let's
what sort of personality
That's his
is
opponent.
PMH?
Yeah.
Yeah, the PMH personalities. So,
Unbearable.
when do you feel your best? In the morning, during the afternoon, and early
But
evening?
this is polar,
Later at
like,
night.
This is polar.
This is the opposite. I feel best at night. You feel,
I feel
best
better in
during
the morning.
I feel best at night. Well, should we choose someone to do this? Like, we can just discuss it. So,
We'll go with the majority.
Go
I
with the
don't really
majority.
mind.
Let's
I
just-
work better in the morning.
Let's go for in the middle then.
No, because I do also like working late at night.
Yeah.
There is, but like it's the from
There's a certain like.
time.
I mean, I'm gonna work late tonight, so it's a certain kind of like when I need to get shit done, I go in the evening.
yeah,
But that's when you need. To
I'm
get
the
it done.
same. Also, I like to. No, but I also just feel better working at night. You know,
I
feel
work
like
better in
there's
the day,
nothing
but
better
I
to
can
do.
work better in the evening. So we'll just go with that one.
Okay,
I'm
so
happy
so
with
we're
that.
going late at night.
Yeah.
Cool. You usually walk fairly fast with long steps, fairly fast with small steps, less fast,
anything
head
to
up,
do with
look at the world at its face,
Yeah.
less fast, head down, very slowly. So I'd usually go with less fast, head up, look in the world in the
For
face.
sure. Yeah.
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 Okay.
I think
Alright.
as
I think we do
creative
agree on that.
photographers and videographers, we like
I
to
was-
look at everything.
I was when I was out on a walk with India the other day.
Mm.
I was just, we as photographers, we just look at the world just a
Oh, wow.
different way, like, like properly,
I get
like,
that, though.
running the
Like we
bullshit.
were when we were in the woods up in Hambledon, and Will was just talking, and like obviously like just regularly talking, and I was just thinking about like, oh, if I go down here like that and put
That's
my phone down there, that will be a really cool picture because the sun's going down there in the background, and I was just like,
But
God,
I feel
am
like we're
addicted
always,
to this.
we're a bit more observant.
Oh,
I'd said that.
100%.
Like India,
Not
will-
even
I
blo-
will see things. Well, like we'll be watching a movie, or we'll be watching, and I noticed like the smallest detail where she worked. But that's because
Not being
when I'm-
cocky, but it's just how we think.
yeah, when we look at something, we're actually we're taking into every single thing into account to make it.
But that's
look
learning.
amazing. Yeah,
We're literally learning all the time and just making sure
But that's
we're
where
aware.
media A level kind of screwed me when I watch films because I'm like, oh, that's such like a typical shot to use at that, and
But that's
all of that.
what I learned as well, and that's what I put into my
Yeah.
thing.
But another thing about walking, so
I love walking.
one
man.
thing that
Love
really
walking.
annoys me is when
Just
people
walking?
walk
I
fast.
love walking.
I think because
Left leg, right leg, left leg. Right
I've
leg.
always been taught walk at the pace of the slowest walker. See, my girlfriend and her family, they don't walk, they march.
I hate
I
that.
hate when people do that.
Yeah,
Just take it in. Just there's no.
I remember
rush.
that in France, right? Charlotte be pacing it down, and you're
But you're quite tall, so I think that you
no.
like to.
She takes it to a level where
She does.
so the dog
Far
walks,
too quick.
the dog walks we go on, she'll be marching. I'm like, Charlotte,
Is this for, like,
we're
BPM
we're
reasons?
walking. No, just because it's just I
the only
don't know.
the only time I could keep up with Charlotte was when we were walking uphill.
Because she had, yeah.
But because she would be the only one, me and her would be the only one who were
Oh,
fit
I-
enough to
Yeah.
actually walk
That
up a hill.
What are you saying, Connor? Shut up.
You in India were like a mile down, honestly, and I say like a half mile down the
Bottom
road.
of the hill.
we're up dragging the suitcase full of beer, wine,
And they're just
and they're at the bottom.
Yeah,
having
when
a
your
break.
girlfriend's struggling and I'm the one helping her up the hill.
yeah, that's yeah. All
No,
right,
it's
all
because
right.
you couldn't keep up with the two of you. I'm gonna leave you for dead at that.
I'll tell you
rate.
what, it was great having India there because it meant that someone
wasn't
else
feel
was
bad.
having- Yeah,
Every
Right.
man for themselves in that. So
Why? But if there's no rush, if you're out, if you've got 4, like yesterday, we went out midday and we were like, okay, we've got 4.5 hours until it gets dark. What's the rush? Let's just stroll.
So right, moving on. Otherwise,
in that
this is going to take
situation,
ages.
however, in the situation of where we were,
Different.
it was
different.
big
Let's just
hill,
get this up,
get it done as quickly as possible,
and then you can sit down.
Yeah.
And you can
it
open
wasn't
the beer.
just, and it was also extremely hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot, and it was steep. It was honestly, some cars struggled to get up.
It's like when we did it in Iron Apple. We went from our house to the shops to get alcohol, and we were like, we need to get up early and go before it's too hot.
Yeah.
Because when you're walking back and it's just like you've got the trolley and it's unbearable.
See, okay, right. When talking to people, you stand with your arms folded, have your hands clasped, have one or both your hands in your hips, touch or push the person whom you're speaking to, play with your ear, hair, touch your chin. Also,
See, I know about some of this actually. I watched a video on a lot of what these things mean. So that when you're sat with your hands like this, you're quite a nervous person.
You're quite close. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're closing it. If you sit like this, you're confident. You're opening
Yeah.
yourself up to the world. And there's loads of these. It's like if you touch your face.
see, I actually read a book about this, about body language and everything, and it kind of taught me how.
Oh, he's going a
There's,
cappella.
yeah, okay. So, but it actually taught me, you know, when you're just talking to people, how you should hold yourselves, and it's always good to. You should always not be. Apparently, you should always not be leaning on one leg. You know how a lot of people stand on one leg and the other's going out. You should stand on both your legs, and no fidgeting. Apparently, fidgeting is
Apparently
very
when you
submissive.
if you talk with your hands quite a lot, you're trying to distract the person from what you're saying. You don't really believe in what you're saying. You're trying to just like distract them with your hands so they don't actually listen to what you're saying.
It's like if you want to make someone uncomfortable, you're meant to look at their forehead.
I just think that everyone's different. I just that you can look into that stuff enough, but I just feel like
Yeah.
if I like sitting like that and that means I'm really nervous, I don't really care. Like this is just how I sit.
You've got. I think it's good to kind of use psychology in
Certain
ways.
you can't just base your opinion on just that.
No,
because
I think there's loads of ways.
if I want to sit with
to
my hands
kinda
on my
look at
if I want to sit with my hands on my hip and look like I'm angry, but I'm not, then it's just how
Also, okay, so going back to like another thing, like some people perceive your body language as completely different.
Yeah.
Or like your tone of voice. Like
Mm.
my tone of voice can sometimes get quite like aggressive
Yeah.
to other people, but that's not aggressive to like. That's just
Yeah, I have that a lot in debates where
you
like
you and
people
me have the same problem.
people will be like, "Why are you getting so irate?" And it's just like, I'm actually just trying to.
Get your
I
point
wasn't
across.
angry. I was just trying to get my point across.
I feel
Yeah.
like you adapt. You eventually adapt that.
I mean, it's like okay, we had it with a client not too long ago where it came across as I was being. It was
Not, like-
not forceful, but like
Trying to get your point
trying to
across.
get my point across. But I was in my eyes wasn't being
Yeah,
You were just saying what you were
aggressive. I
saying.
was saying what I was saying, how I would, but also
Over
because,
text, yeah.
because I'm quite like straight to the point and don't. I'm just gonna say it and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes to some people like that can.
Someone's like
yeah,
blunt
I
and,
think
yeah.
I think we both. I think we all probably have this. Is because I'm not afraid to be direct, and I may mean no offense, but people take it like.
The
also-
amount of people that have said to me about Quinn, how you're just straight to the point, and there's just no beating around the bush. It's
It's
just
quite. Also, I find it's quite a big man thing as well, where you
Yeah.
just like straight to it,
you
say
say
it
how
as
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah. What's the point about being around the
But
bush?
sometimes with the women, from a female's point of view, not be like they have to kind of go into it a little bit further,
Yeah.
and that's not me saying men and women are completely awful different.
Yeah.
It's just how we both perceive things completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, like
So-
normal normal
Men are
women.
from
and-
Mars, Venus,
Yeah.
women,
So
women
that
are from
book-
Venus.
That's
so that
it.
book, I read a segment. My girlfriend forced me to read a segment on that book, and it's
Which one?
men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Oh yeah.
and it's
yeah.
all about how you talk to each other. So, quite a lot of time when Charlotte is complaining about something, I'm like, well, to solve it, you could do this.
I had this conversation on Saturday with India.
Yeah. So and then I was reading it, and I was like, that's all I do. Like I'm just like,
We
stop,
look for the-
stop being pathetic and sort it out.
Do it like this.
Yeah. And then, but in the book, apparently you're supposed to be like, oh, you got exams, that sucks. You know, oh no.
Let them do it how
like-
they want to do it, and like
We're treading
them.
on dangerous territory here, boys. But
But
I mean,
no,
it's
apparently that's
open.
the-
It's just being transparent, I guess.
I think no, I completely agree because when I have the conversation, especially with India, I'm thinking, right, here's the problem. How you get from A to B to solve the problem.
Cut the middle bit of shit out and just do that.
Whereas I think sometimes you need to be a bit more
Holding hand.
emotional.
Yeah, just holding the hand. Just be like, maybe you should
Be a bit more understanding.
give him a little.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on before we get in trouble. So,
I think that's too late. Too late.
right.
Quinn,
Okay.
I'm sorry, but you are too late. You as well.
Luckily, I'm
Too
not
late.
seeing her for 2 weeks. I'm forgotten by then.
Yeah,
My
well,
imaginary
doesn't-
girlfriend is
She
already
doesn't
angry
watch
at
the
me.
podcast anyway.
Actually, India did watch the first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you find it?
She liked it.
Nice.
Thank God she's not watching the second one where I diss her driving.
No,
Right.
I think we-
So-
that was the first comment was, I'm annoyed at Quinn though.
Is she actually?
Yeah.
No, she's
Joking,
obviously.
mate,
Okay,
do you know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Okay. So I'm just gonna say, the only one that I could really think is like touch or push the person. No. Or
the person.
well, what do you do? One on your hips. Because none of these are really
yeah.
that great. Or touch your ear or hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. When relaxing, you sit with your knees bent, with your legs neatly side by side.
No.
Your legs crossed. We talked about that earlier. Your legs stretched out. I like to stretch my legs. One leg held under you.
Yeah.
So
Your legs crossed.
knees bent with your legs neatly side by side. Your legs crossed. Your legs
Is that
stretched
one
out,
leg crossed
stretched
or-
out straight. One leg held under you. So I like to personally stretch out.
We're both going to say cross leg.
Yeah.
Cross. All right. Okay.
That's the
I mean,
cross
majority.
leg.
It depends on the. It depends on the
If
situation.
I'm on the sofa, I am just stretching out and chilling out.
See, like, I quite like this at the minute
Mm.
podcast, where you can't see my legs, but my
Yeah.
Connor's got no trousers on. I've got all the wires by my legs, and I try.
Knocked the camera like 100 times.
But you're the least fidgeted person, so you're meant to not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So because we're already at
happens.
we're already at an hour, so I put legs crossed.
There's gonna be an extra bonus
Yeah.
leg.
When something really amuses you, you react with a big appreciative laugh, a laugh, but not a loud one, a quiet chuckle, a sheepish smile, a big appreciative laugh.
Yes.
Say the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can go the first one.
Well, I'm quite like I love a good laugh. Actually, yeah, maybe
Really
Maybe
amuses
you're right.
you, or like
I'll-
absolutely hits you on the right note.
it says when something really amuses you, like Connor's bear moment. So a big appreciative laugh.
Yeah.
When you go to a party or social gathering, you make a loud entrance so that no, definitely not. A quiet entrance, looking around for someone you know. I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Make a quiet entrance, trying to stay unnoticed. Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
You're working very hard, concentrating hard, and you're interrupted. Right, okay, Brad. This is one
Connor's-
of my pet peeves.
Go, come.
Like, but
Connor's gone for a little. What is it?
he's gone for a loo break.
Yeah. What's the saying though? He's dropping the kids off at school. Is that? is that the saying?
That I think that might be a different type of loo trip.
It might be. You know. You never know. Connor.
Yeah. So yeah,
Don't put it back on me. There's no one here.
I'm bad at interrupting.
Oh,
with
you drop
interrupting.
the kids off at school.
No, it's just the So
Welcome home.
so for me, I'd go with feel extremely irritated.
You're working very hard, concentrating hard, and you're interrupted. I'd say vary between these two.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if someone's going to interrupt you and it's for a good reason, you can't get annoyed because they're just trying to help.
Yeah. See, I've got my brother and my mum actually. They'll, I'll be at the dinner table.
Mm.
I'll be talking about something. I'll be explaining a story. Then halfway through, my mum will be like, "Oh, by the way, we've got ketchup. If any of you want ketchup," I'm like, "That was not the time."
But like being on a podcast, we're all going to interrupt each other, but you can't get like.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that
If I was going to interrupt you like right now, you wouldn't be like, "What are you doing?" Like,
there's a fine line. Like we were talking about this after the first
Mm.
one we did. We got to stop talking over each other.
Mm.
It is hard though,
Yeah.
because you're trying
You've got
to
to find the middle ground.
you're trying to cut in on the conversation. Be like that. That was fine. Cut in.
Just. For audio listeners, me and Connor just performed our jiu-jitsu routine.
Yeah. Yeah, don't mess with PMH.
Yeah, we know.
Actually, I did do karate as a kid.
Shit.
You know,
What belt did you get to?
brown,
That's what
brown
everyone-
with white stripe.
Not black.
And that's the one under.
Is it?
Yeah, one under.
Oh, so you're better than everyone else.
Isn't karate supposed to be one of the most useless?
Yeah, you're supposed to do
Nice.
like jiu-jitsu. It's fine, mate.
Nice. So it was good.
You've got to do something.
I learned.
something.
I know how. I did cut through a board
Yeah,
Did you?
quite a few bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
the most cliched,
I-
and most
I-
useless thing ever.
I used to be able to like do the kick as well and then break a board.
No.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see you
like
do
to
that.
see you do that now. Yeah.
and you're in your white robe with a belt.
Okay.
Yeah, I had white and then blue and then black robes. Yeah.
Which of the following colours do you like the most? Red, orange, black,
I love that colour, red orange.
yellow, light blue. What?
That's two different colours.
Okay, I think it's red or orange,
Mm.
black, yellow or light blue, green, dark blue or purple, white, brown and grey.
This is going to be so
This is so different for everyone though.
everyone. What's yours? Just say yours.
Probably red, orange.
Yeah.
I like
same.
sunset.
Red orange for
I'd
me.
probably go green, but we can go red
Green,
orange.
dude, that's
Yeah. I love green.
gross.
That's great.
Right.
You know, there's colours for trees and the grass. And
Your
like,
green
you know.
jumper that you're. Is that green or
No,
blue?
it's
Yeah,
blue with burgundy with a bit of, I don't even know, gold.
Yeah.
It's an odd mix. But I
Must.
like
No,
it.
that's mustard yellow.
Dunno.
Disgusting.
It shouldn't work, but I don't know. I like it.
Right.
It's
When you're on
comfortable.
bed at night, in the last few moments before getting to sleep, you are
Not even concentrating.
stretched out on your back, stretched out face down on your stomach. I kind of occasionally do that.
I don't know. It changes every time, so I couldn't tell you.
On your side, slightly
on my
curled,
slide. Down your bed slide.
with your head on one arm, with your head under the covers. Definitely not head under the covers.
Mine's fourth.
On
I
your
think.
slide. I can't talk. So
Mine's the
right,
fourth
okay.
one.
So I've learned. Okay,
I can
it's
imagine
good-
you
it's-
being a starfish.
No, it's good for your hips if you actually sleep with a pillow in between your legs.
Yeah.
So
And a pillow underneath your
What?
legs, so they're a little bit elevated.
once you start sleeping with a pillow on your like in between your legs,
Hey, do you do that
you
regularly?
can't go back. I have to
do.
do it every night now.
I love that because you know I saw it the other day. So it separates you by raising your knee up. It levels out your back,
Yeah, yeah.
so your spine isn't.
So if you
Yeah.
if you sleep on your back, then your neck is too
You're
upright or
really
something.
you're not meant to sleep on your front because the gravity pulls your organs down towards your rib cage. Like it's really bad for them.
I do that occasionally. But yeah, once you sleep with a pillow in between your legs, you never go back. So, but I think we'd all probably say slightly curled, right? On your side, slightly curled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Last one. You often dream that you are falling, fighting or struggling, searching for someone or something, flying or floating. You usually have dreamless sleeps. Your dreams are always pleasant. My dreams are always awesome. I love
Most
sleep.
of mine are always like a certain, sometimes a little bit bad, but mostly good. So
I don't remember my dreams.
I don't normally remember
I
most
love
dreams.
them. I love them. And
It's only recently I started dreaming again.
I'm like really inconsistent with dreams.
do you
Like
reckon that's
last night, I don't
because
think
you stopped drinking?
No,
It might have a part to play.
it's I did the research into it.
external factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making it sound like you're an alcoholic, Connor.
You are.
right?
Most episodes.
Every podcast so far.
Connor, is this because you're drinking too much again?
Yeah.
No.
Connor did dry January for 8 days.
12. Thank you.
12.
Is it?
Damn, I'm sorry.
No, because we filmed the podcast and you drank after that.
Shut up.
Yeah, one doesn't count.
Yeah.
With Connor.
it's only 5 is when it counts. otherwise, it's just a drink rather than I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I did only have 2 bottles of beer yesterday. I was
Nice.
quite happy.
Damn.
Well, you're not drinking then.
I'm proud. Can I put dreams are always pleasant?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
most of whenever I dream, it's normally good.
Get results. A lively centre of attention.
Hmm.
Others see you as fresh, lively, charming, yeah, definitely charming.
We're all not quite happy people. Like we're all quite positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whenever
very-
normally coming in, we're just grumpy.
I'd say
Oh.
I'm hyper positive.
There's obviously there's.
Connor's either one or the other. He's hyper positive or pissed off.
Yeah, there's no in between. This is the thing. Like,
You're mostly positive though. It's not
Yeah,
like
I just find like if you piss me off, you're gonna piss me off. If you're making me happy, you're making me really happy. There's no.
here at PMH, it's like treading on eggshells with Connor.
It's like
Yeah, you walk in and you walk
You-
in and like in the morning you're like, how is he, Brad?
God,
Brad, is he all right?
is he alright today?
Is-
Yeah,
is
he's
that-
fine. It's fine. It's like,
That's
it's like
not
a cage.
that
It's like a
bad.
cage down around the corner.
Yeah, no, he's actually.
But I think we're all
he's
pretty
lovely.
positive people. So I think that's
Yeah.
sort of.
It
I wouldn't say we're the centre of attention though. Like we're never.
Right. Okay.
we've never really wanted.
Let's
to be.
continue.
Yeah,
with
we're
this.
never those kind of people.
Others see as fresh, lively, charming, amusing, practical, and always interesting. Someone who is constantly the centre of attention, but sufficiently well balanced, not let it go to their head.
Yeah, I guess it's
They
kind
also see
Yeah.
you as kind, considerate, and understanding. Someone who will always cheer them up and help them out. Yeah, you know.
I'd
I
like
think
to.
fair
I'd like
enough.
to think that. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a bit of like
Maybe-
exaggerated.
Maybe we're like, you know,
Perfect. Yeah.
maybe
I know.
we're like taking the compliment a bit too well.
No, no,
We're
no.
like, yeah,
This is just an online test
Yeah.
at the end of the
Oh my
day.
god! I think I found myself now. This is exactly who I am.
Well,
All
next
the
podcast,
all the
star
questions are
signs.
answered. That's it. Done.
Yeah,
Life
chill out.
completed.
Next episode we'll do star signs. And
No,
we'll-
God,
yeah.
no.
Yep.
We're
God, the
definitely-
astrology. Oof. I know. Sorry. What do you know your star sign?
Virgo.
No.
Gemini.
Libra.
Nice.
Libra.
Virgo. Aren't you guys meant to be pretty hard to date? Maybe this is. Maybe this is where.
But
all the problem-
Virgos aren't supposed to go with Virgos. I don't think.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Right. We're at an hour and 10 already.
Cool.
So
I think
should we
we've done
round
well.
things off?
Good
I think
podcast.
this
Good
I think this
podcast,
has
yeah.
probably been our best podcast.
That's what we said last.
Yeah, no, I like
We're
number
always
two.
getting better. We're always getting better.
Yeah, number one was good. as well. I haven't actually listened to number two the whole way through.
You're not?
No.
No.
Number 2's a bit messy.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a
'Cause
bit messy.
remember when we did it? It was just a bit all of.
Yeah.
There was no planning.
Maybe the morning ones are actually probably quite.
They
Yeah.
were all sort of like switched on.
Yeah.
Although my
Yeah.
stomach
I
is
think
rumbling.
The
now.
problem with Friday.
When is it not, Brad?
the problem
Yeah.
I'm
on.
joking. I'm sorry. That was that was me.
cut deep.
I think the problem we're having on the later one, especially Friday, end of the
Just
week.
want to get out. No?
Like, we've already had a long week. It's a lot to think about to then go do a podcast.
Mm.
I think maybe on the Friday ones we just get drunk and
Yeah,
talk.
I was. That's what I was
round it
thinking.
off.
You're gonna have to get Charlotte to drop you off in the mornings. Pick her up.
Yeah, well, she can join us maybe one time. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. This has been a really good one.
The next podcast is going to be insane. Insane. I'm going to tell you right now.
Well,
it's
we're gonna
be
we're probably
unreal.
gonna hopefully do two, aren't we? When we're away, maybe.
Yeah.
The next two are going to be unreal.
Get ready for one on the journey. I think that would be if we
Yeah,
could
in the
set it
car.
up. Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
get that
Is-
battery thing. So
Yeah.
bear that in mind.
Well, thank you very much for listening to the PMH podcast. Please follow us on all social media channels at Polar Media House,
Hope you're having a good day.
and have a good week.
Yeah.
Enjoy life.
And the next time you see us,
We'll be in France.
we'll be in France.
Yeah.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Fade to black.